really what facial recognition technology is at the end of the day is taking the CCTV cameras and footage that's up all around the place anyway, and just using a computer program to match those faces to people who are already on the system. I know it sounds like a scary concept. It is creepy, but I can't help but thinking this is just the future. This is it.
Aha. No. Yes, Big Brother is the future.
Yes, Big Brother. No.
Big Brother is here. It is the future. There is no escape. Sign up for your digital ID. Sign up for your facial recognition, and Mr. Government will know where you are at all times. This is the... Like, it's great. You can say it's good. We're catching the paedophiles. Fantastic. But at the same time, they are also scanning your faces. And they will say, we're gathering no data. We have no data. We know who no one is, which is fine, as I said last night about digital ID, when it's the people you like who are in charge. But you hand this technology over to people who don't like you, and they may well use it against you. And there was a case a few years ago in the UK where they were using facial recognition technology on cameras with AI in train stations. And they were using it in these railway stations to monitor the estimated ages of passengers and their moods. Like, they were scanning their faces and their eyes and trying to register what their moods and emotions were. And there was this secret report that was written on all the data that they'd collected from this and sent back to Amazon that said, yippee, we can use this sort of data to target advertising in railway stations to people. So it starts with we're catching paedophiles. It ends up with we're monitoring everyone everywhere at all times for all purposes.
Well, you could see on the image that we showed just before when it was an example, and it had a woman walking on the street and the little screen that came up said face not recognised, but it still said her eye colour and her height. I just think that this is just a really uncomfortable position to be in. Like, these people have no idea that their face is currently being scanned, and that face would then be being put into a computer, even though she's not at, well, sorry, we don't know what their position is, but she's not necessarily a criminal because it says unknown face, but they then take the data and who knows what you can do with it. I just feel really uncomfortable in a position where people can be doing your facial recognition without knowing. And I know that in that 12 months that they were doing the pilot, they caught 580 alleged offenders. But I still just think in a country as well where they're wanting to bring in digital ID, it just seems a little bit of an overreach for me.
But don't they already have all this data anyway? Like, if you exist in 2025 and you've got a phone and you've got social media, and you've got the internet,
but you're just walking down the street.
They already have everything. I would at least rather the government do something productive and use technology that already exists to help catch criminals while the UK is in a crime crisis than just sit there and collect all the data and send it to China anyway.
Okay, but if you're using your mobile phone and your Facebook and all this business, you're voluntarily handing that stuff over to companies, and that's your own stupid fault if something gets done with it. Read the terms and conditions, etc. But is it not true that it's all fine and well to say that the technology is available? You set the precedent and say it's available for this purpose now, but it can be used for nefarious purposes.
Yeah.
And so if you say this is the precedent, you can use it, that is a logical conclusion of where you end up. It can be used for nefarious purposes. Why would you hand that over to them?
But anything can be used for nefarious purposes. That's why you have to have checks and balances and safeguards and ensure that totalitarian governments don't get elected. This argument can be applied to absolutely anything.
But you don't get that with the facial recognition because you haven't signed up for that. So you're just walking the street and your face is getting scanned, like what we saw in that picture where that woman has no idea, but all her height and her eye colour.
So effectively you have to remove yourself from society.
Yes.
If you don't want to have all your biometric data gathered by big government.
Or just try wearing a balaclava when you walk around London.
Well, that's going to get you arrested, isn't it? Like, you've got no option. I think it's really scary, particularly in a country, and don't believe this couldn't happen here, particularly in a country where they are bringing in compulsory digital ID to be able to work in that country. You know, you start linking every little service and everything up, all of a sudden the data they collect on your face gets put on your digital... Everything will be in one place controlled by the government. I think that's a dangerous precedent.